Tell her we said hello.
Who?
Tell her we said hello. When
I will.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart.
Who? As well.
Yes.
Sorry,
I
the
forget that.
cans are off. That's why I didn't hear you.
She's a sweetheart.
That Man on Fatman is brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee. The strongest coffee in the world. That Man on Fatman is also sponsored by Audible. Check out Audible over at audibletrials.com/ThatManOnFatman. That Man on Fatman is now on Podbean.
What's that?
So find us over at ThatManOnFatman.podbean.com.
Yeah.
Got like 15
Yeah.
volumes
Over at That Man on Fatman.
That was
always
like,
feel
yeah.
a debt of gratitude to our buddy Chunder Tunes. So go check
Whoa.
out his animation for all your podcast animation needs over at chundertunes.com. That Man on Fatman is available on most social media platforms. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, or you can go over to our links. We're on the Podbean site at thatmanonfatman.podbean.com. There's all kinds of links
Oh my
there
God.
to all our other resources as well. So check that out.
Jerry Lewis.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
That Man on Fatman is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
Yes, please note that use of all sound effects is done ironically.
Ooh-ah. You are listening to That Man on Fatman with Scott and Gene Holden, and they, trust me, have a great ass.
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So yes, you absolutely did the right thing.
Okay. What has two thumbs and is
God.
a huge
He's
fan
gonna
of
hear
Kevin
the new one.
Smith? That Man!
Scott, who does That Man on Fatman podcast.
Yeah.
Ooh-ah.
Well, once upon a time, just a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit written by old Kev Smith.
Ooh-ah. That Man on Fatman.
Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts.
He's that man. He's talking.
Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around.
Go get him, that man.
So I created a show with one heck of a plan, and I call that show That Man on Fatman.
That Man on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
That Man on Fatman. That Man on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
Go get him, that man.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode 4-15 of That Man on Fatman. I'm Scott Holden. Here in the studio with me is none other than producer extraordinaire and co-host Gene Holden.
Hi.
And we have a guest in the house, so we have to rifle through the program as quickly as we can. Because
Is it 4-15?
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm just realizing I'm not bumping through the video shots. Dummy.
Is it 4-15?
I believe it's 4-15,
Okay.
yes. If it's not, it's 4-14, but it's 4-15 now.
I think it is.
We'll reset the numbers later. So, why don't we... oh, no, I just jumped to the wrong shot, and now everybody's seeing our guest in advance. Ooh. Anyway, it's a teaser for those at home. Anyway, for those watching the video. Why don't we jump into the SMed lines?
Okay.
All right, let's get that going.
And now, direct from the That Cave, we give you the SMed lines with Gene Holden.
Why, hello.
You're on.
I am on. You have no idea. No. So the last time we talked, it was Kevin Smith in New Jersey.
Yes, it was.
And it was all about the stash and Jay and Silent Bob. And so now we move on to the Funko figures.
Oh, yeah. Funko Pops. Apparently,
Funko-
Kevin has a big heart on for those. I don't get it. I'll be honest. I don't get built-in collectability.
Right.
But we'll talk more about it when the guest is involved.
Right. So he went to Everett.
When did
and that's in
Stewie get so damn
Washington.
crazy?
I
He's
know.
right in front of the camera and everything.
I know.
He just knocked it out of
State.
angle, too.
I'm trying to be nice.
This is cool, though.
But he's a big fatty.
action
Come on, baby.
footage.
I love you. I love
That's
you. I love
Stewie.
you. I don't want to hurt you. Okay.
Who hates being picked
So
up.
anyway, sorry guys.
The whole
He's
show's
gonna
coming
do it
apart.
again. He's gonna do it again. So he went. They have a huge headquarters now in Everett.
Sorry.
In Everett, Washington.
I thought that was this.
Yeah. Oh my God! Can you believe? It's so embarrassing.
All
Stop
right, anyway.
doing that.
Go on.
See, and this is the time I shine, and you're making it like.
I'm embarrassing you?
Yeah.
So, all right, where was Kevin went to the Funko Pops thing?
Yes, he went to the grand opening of the
Yeah, so
headquarters.
big-headed vinyl
Right.
figures.
So there's comic book men Funko Pops now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we have, who do we have now? We have Kevin Smith.
Yep.
We have Mike Zapsik, and I'm not doing this in any order, of course. We have Ming Chen. We have
Brian O'Halloran?
Brian O'Halloran.
No, Brian
O'Halloran.
Johnson. Sorry. I've got
Oh.
Brian O'Halloran
There
on the
should
brain
be
for some
Brian-
strange reason. I
There
have
should
no
be
idea.
Brian O'Halloran and all that.
Obviously, because he's our guest today.
We have who did I miss?
Brian Johnson and
Walt.
Walter. Yes.
So those are awesome.
Collect
I guess,
the whole
Are they
set.
available now? Does that mean they're available now?
If they're not, they're close to it.
Okay.
Because they're like pushing them big time.
Right.
They also there are Clerks cards as well. I don't know if
There
we
are the
talked about
Clerks
them
cards.
on the show.
Yeah.
Yet. I don't think
Maybe we can
have.
talk about that in a little
I think
bit.
we announced them when they came out.
We did, but no.
Not much since.
No, we have not.
Yeah. All right.
But we'll talk about them maybe in a little bit. Okay, so Kevin is going to be directing...
Is this another story, by the way?
This is a new story.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
I don't
Next
really
story.
do a good transition into. Sorry, I kind of like they're all kind of blended in.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm here for you.
So, thank you. I need the support.
What is what's a Wookiee?
So Kevin is going to be directing his third Supergirl episode.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was just in Vancouver and and there really isn't anything really. They have no name for the episode. They don't know what number it is. So it's basically he's just going to be directing.
So he went in basically to get the notes and the script and all that stuff.
Right. And and while he was there, this is kind of cute. There's a comic book store there that he frequents, and there he calls it the Toy Traders in Vancouver. And he went in and did a Facebook Live video. And just kind of did a tour of the store, and so I thought that was a kind of a cute.
And basically,
little,
did a promotion for the place.
Yeah, and
to millions of viewers,
right,
I'm sure.
And he goes in there to buy gifts for the crew, for the Supergirl cast and all that.
That's
and
amazing.
That's the place he goes. So and they had to cover all the stuff, because you can't, advertise everything. It's kind of cute. So anyway, that was a side story, and that's the SMed line.
Oh, wrong. I'm sorry.
That's the SMed lines, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I don't have to do this again?
No. Only if you want to.
All right, I did anyway.
But you can.
All right. I do think we have a SMed lines closer, though, so we can close out the segment with all its greatness.
I can just say bye.
I know.
I sound better than that anyway.
This has been the SMed
That sounds so robotic. I don't sound like that.
Gene Holden.
I hate that it's me. We need to get a voice artist to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
We could have the big voiceover person do it, whoever that is.
Yeah, but we have good voices. We can just do it.
Yes. Well. All right. So, we've actually been hyping that our guest today was supposed to be Phil Hendrie. I can't say his last name right.
Phil Hendrie.
Hendrie, yeah. Okay. I don't know why.
Hendrie.
I'm always thrown off when they end on a vowel or something. I
Really?
guess. I don't know. The IE always throws me.
Okay.
Unless it's Tommy, then I'm okay.
What?
I don't know.
So weird.
Thank you. Wait, where's my? Wait, hang on a minute. Where is it? Where'd it go? Ah, I'm in the wrong damn silent thing. I need this.
A sound effect?
Yes. Thank you. All right.
Oh my God, I knew that was going to be.
But you know what stinks? Like I still have to go back to the other one because we have to lead the. So we had to bump Mr. Hendrie another week.
Mr. Vagina.
Yes, Principal Vagina from
but
Rick and Morty.
If you didn't call him Principal, you call him Mr. Vagina.
And it's a great interview, but we'll play it next week because we have a time-sensitive guest on. I need to take a sip here because I'm already. I'm getting crazy. We have someone here who's got something to plug on August 6th, though. And they're a good friend of the show.
But that's the wrong date.
Yes, September 6th. Thank you. Flushing my brain out. Is it August still, though?
Flushing your brain out.
It's August now.
Yeah.
It's just that September 6th is the date.
It's August 20th today.
Thank you. All right, so in the house here is none other than... Hang on, let me get this going.
Oh my gosh, look, Stewie's sitting right next to me.
I know, he's like in love.
Oh my God, it's like they're like pals. Wait, I have to get my phone. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
You're going to get your phone? Because you want to start taking pictures.
They look like they're like buddies.
And here is our guest. None other than Mr. Brian O'Holler, and welcome to the show. Let me bring your mic up.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I'm multitasking. It's real difficult.
I see, man. It's like the Starship Enterprise up here.
Yes, I really need another person
Seriously,
to help out here.
You need a Mr. Sulu, and you need a Chekhov, so that someone is running your sound while someone's running your camera, and then someone's loading photon torpedoes in their tubes.
At one point, it was supposed to be my son, but you know how that goes.
Children.
Exactly. Teenagers.
God forbid you had a farm, you'd be losing crops left and right now.
All right, well,
picking the potatoes?
I just cut us to the 3-shot, so we are on autopilot. So we can now just like vamp and have fun, and all the formalities are out of the way.
Perfect.
Welcome to the studio. It's your first time in the house.
It is the first time here at the house, and what a studio it is, my friend. You got cables and wires. I think there's more cables and wires here than at NASA right now.
Just remember, the thing is like whatever the camera doesn't see is okay. You know, so that's why that was the biggest revelation.
No, I get it, man. I get it. It's really good. It's very we are anonymous and we're broadcasting from some sort of secret location.
Yes, it's the secret stash in the stash, I guess.
Exactly. I'm surprised we don't have me like blocked out like some sort of X something.
Some of your stuff is on the trophy wall, though, for sure. There's the vulgar thing that you gave me, and it's signed. I have signed discs everywhere, so there's all kinds of shenanigans going on.
It's definitely nice and sweet. I like it here.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
We try and make it a fun place to hang.
It is. And it's so funny because today is like one of the most beautiful days outside.
Yeah.
And we're stuck here in the studio.
And a horrible day for celebrity deaths.
Yeah, two greats of comedy this past weekend passed.
Yeah, Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory, the great Dick Gregory. Without which we would never have the spawnings of, Chris Rock or Chappelle or Pryor.
I was saying to Gene, one of the things I remember him saying, like, later on, though, was like, black people should never drink anything with the word "aid" in it.
True.
Which is, very true, because
Yeah,
he was
makes
against
sense.
sugar and all that.
A lot of,
Kool-Aid.
he's one of the few comics who actually goofed on Martin Luther King to his face. Goofed on him, right then and there. Said a joke about it. It was really, really funny, and they're showing tons of his clips on a variety of news channels and comedy channels, as a matter of fact, this weekend. And then to see the great, Jerry Lewis pass.
Yes.
So funny.
Yes, one of the masters of physical comedy.
My God, slapstick. I love
And
that.
then one of the few people in the industry who came out for an actual medical cause very early on in their
Yeah,
career.
that's true.
He was one of the largest fundraising celebrities there was. I think his final numbers were something along the 2 billion mark.
Yeah,
And that was a time when, like, I mean, his muscular dystrophy drives, MS drives, were always like on at 4 a.m. They went. And
but not only that, though, they went to kids in school. I remember being in Catholic school in the Bronx and getting those packets to raise money for these walkathons,
I
and you'd
remember
find
that too.
friends and relatives and neighbors you'd go to the door, please sponsor me as I walk 5 miles, and they would then see how much you would get paid per mile, you know what I mean, which was weird. It was like, I'm kind of like selling my feet for like money for for people who, but you know what, it worked. It got people out. Not only did it raise money for MS, but it got some kids healthier. I mean, and stuff by walking some more, even though back then there was no sitting in the house playing video games or being on the computer anyway, but still. So it was fun, and he's a huge loss, and he did so much for comedy and also for the world.
Sorry, Gene's going to hit the air because it's stuffy in here.
No, that's all right. That's just me spouting. Gets a little hot air out here.
Speaking of comedy, so let's talk about September 6th so we know that this is out of the way, because I'll forget if we don't talk
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you so much for having me come up here at
no
short
problem.
notice.
No.
But yeah, this Wednesday, September 6th, for those who are like, what day of the week is that? It's a Wednesday. Wednesday, September 6th at 8 o'clock. If any of you came out for the screening of Shooting Clerks a couple of weekends ago on Kevin's birthday weekend celebration in Atlantic Highlands, just literally half a block or a block and a half down from that location of the Atlantic Cinemas is this place called the Wine Bar, which is a restaurant bar above the Harborside Restaurant and Bar, both the same owner. So come on down, and what we're doing is we're doing a celebrity roast of me. So it's hosted by comic roastmaster himself, Chris Covert, also known as part of the Jersey Jokers team.
I know. I remember meeting him,
Yeah, very funny. He does a lot of parody song kind of humor. Very, very cool. It's a very filthy roast, too.
Absolutely.
So,
I think they're supposed to be, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But some people, you never know. But, I mean, if they're listening to this podcast with the explicit warnings that you put up on
yes, we assume they're safe.
It's similar in the same type of vein.
Yes.
But part of the people on the dais for this event will be a lot of the guys from Comic Book Men. We'll be getting, in no particular order, Brian Johnson, Ming Chen, Mike Zabsig. Then my own girlfriend herself, Diana Devlin, is going to come up and throw a couple of zingers at me. Then we have a previous cast member and actually a previous guest of your show, Mr. Scott Schiaffo will be coming on.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, Scott, actually, we have to get him in here again because he kind of likes to consider himself as the most appeared guest.
Probably.
And he's starting to slip.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's like the Alec Baldwin of your show on SNL. And Ernie O'Donnell will be there as well.
Cool,
and then we have 3 great comics themselves, one by the name of K.P. Burke, the other one of John Gilbreth, and then our final one.
John Gilbreth sounds really familiar.
John Gilbreth, yeah, you might have seen him at a bunch of different things.
I think I did. Is he from like Long Island or something?
I know the name, that's for sure.
He might be. I don't know exactly.
There was a funny one, a funny guy we saw. I remember in Red Bank that one night. He was like from Long Island, and he was funny.
And then our final comic is also Ken Krantz, another guy who calls himself the Michael Jordan of comedy.
Wow.
If Michael Jordan played baseball.
Okay. Which he did.
Which he did.
And it was awful.
And then
I don't think he was awful. Actually,
he was terrible at baseball. Yes, he was.
Really?
Yeah, atrocious.
He was. Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah. The only reason he got to play was because he was Michael Jordan and brought him out into the minor league place he played.
And who is who's turning out to be an amazing baseball player? The what's his name? The football player, isn't he?
Yeah. You're talking about
is it Brady?
No,
I know nothing about sports, so you're
Tebow?
Anything
Tebow,
you guys?
Yeah, Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
Who was signed by the New York Mets organization to play in their minor league system, and
was he the
He's a football.
He was
the one that Trump likes and everything? The Christian guy?
Well, no, he likes Brady. But yes, he is the Christian guy. He's the one that everybody did that Tebow where he would, take a knee and pray and thank Jesus for that he didn't throw an interception.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing baseball player.
I wouldn't say amazing. He's holding his own, let's say.
I guess he's better than I expected.
He's better than what people expected.
Yeah.
The Mets signed him to a 1-year contract for the minor leagues. It's a lot of PR for them. And I hope he does well.
Right.
I mean, but they're not. I don't see him if he comes up to the majors. And since the Mets are doing not spectacular this season, I could see him coming up for the last 2 weeks of the season just to bring in fans in the seats to make some money.
And to the ladies and some of the guys.
Oh yeah, he's handsome.
No,
yeah,
okay, just turn around.
Him? Tim Tebow?
Okay, but I'm telling you, the ladies and some of the boys.
The Christian thing goes.
The football ass.
It's the ass.
Yeah.
It's like finding out someone's into professional
In those
wrestling. It's like, no,
baseball
I
pants.
can't. I
No,
can't.
Yeah, but you
as
can
everybody
turn
knows,
all that. You can turn all that off.
football spandex are much tighter than baseball.
I know, but there's something about the baseball.
There
it's
is
more
something
innocent
like
or something.
I haven't watched football in a long time, and I tuned in to a game, and the outfits definitely are different. Everything is much skin tighter. It's a different.
Well, yeah,
they're
you don't
well,
want
it
to
has
be
to
you don't
be.
want to be tackled.
It
You
has
don't
to
want
be on
anyone
football.
grabbing something and pulling you down by your shirt.
yeah.
Back in the day, before the
When the
nylon and stuff,
jerseys
they
all hung
literally-
and stuff.
They hung, but also they would spray themselves with Pam, the non-sticking spray,
Oh,
so
wow.
that if you tried grabbing them, you would slip off. Then they banned that.
Oh.
Wow.
But yeah, there was all sorts of ways of trying to not get caught.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of cheating.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
So I guess then if you could stick your hands in the stickum jar or
Yes.
something, or whatever. Yeah, so now I can grab your ass.
Right. But getting back to the roast, but
Asses.
yes, the roast will be at the wine bar. If you come on down to the Atlantic Highlands, it's exit 117 off the Parkway. If you are from Jersey, you'll get that.
Okay, and we'll also post it on
Yeah.
our
Yes, and
on
it's
our site.
It's at 8 p.m. and tickets are available at Eventbright. So if you just
Oh my
type
God,
in,
there's so much going on that night. You get
Yeah.
like all of those like awesome people are going to be like.
You get to watch everybody trash Brian.
correct, and then
And
I
then
get
you get
last legs.
comedians
I
after
get
that.
last legs.
That is true. You do get to hit
Now-
back.
Okay, so after everyone goes,
Then
then
I get
you
up.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Plus,
Now
we've-
what do you do? Then roast
Oh,
everybody else?
yeah. I gotta.
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
didn't
how
know
every
that.
roast
Talk
I
works.
didn't
shit.
know how.
You talk shit
oh.
back.
Oh, I didn't know you
Well, I
weren't
didn't
familiar
know-
with the roast thing.
I didn't think I didn't know that part. I didn't
Yeah.
know that you went back to everyone else and. Did
Oh yeah, you. Otherwise, what fun would it be if you didn't
Of
get to
course.
hit back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
then
yeah,
then
but-
you just cry in your beer and you
Aw.
keep yourself away from sharp items.
I know at the Daily Show, whenever a writer leaves, they do a roast
Yes,
for him.
exactly.
So, and when we filmed for the documentary, we filmed for fucking Elliot's last day. He was the head writer.
Oh wow.
who
Elliot
we
Caitlin.
didn't know. Elliot Caitlin, thank you. Who was just going on to MST3K,
Oh my God, he's so
where
great
he
on that
became
show.
head writer
Right.
and now is moving out to LA.
He's
to-
acting in it too. He's in like certain skits.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
What was that?
He's arrived.
Nice.
And what's funny is we have interview footage of those guys saying, yeah, MST3K was our influence getting us into podcasting. So
Nice.
it's like, holy shit, full circle story.
I know.
What? Are you wrestling a cat?
Now I'm having funkiness going on with my headphones.
Oh, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Wrestling a cat.
He's chilling
Ah.
right next to me. The cat. He's just
Oh
now
my
he's
God.
asleep. Sitting.
Our cat Stewie loves Brian.
That's Stewie.
Holland.
Ooh, that reminds me. Okay,
He's soothing. That's why he's a super
Weird
calm
moment.
person.
so we had Ralph Garman on a couple episodes ago.
Very cool, dude.
Very cool dude.
Oh my God! Understatement of the century.
Yeah. Like when we met him, we weren't sure what to expect.
Mm.
And just because he seems surlier than most of Kevin's
so-
co-hosts and friends.
Right.
He's so much the
But
opposite.
yeah, when we met him,
like
he was
gentle, just like so
Very cool.
funny and like normal.
and that came through on the show.
Yeah.
But towards the end, he was talking a lot about Family Guy and all that stuff, and I was like, "Hey, isn't there like some sort of feud between the Family Guy camp and the Kevin Smith camp?" And he was like, I didn't realize that until like midway
Yeah,
through.
we made reference of it in the cartoon
And
series.
that's what I was like. And as he was talking about it, I even said it on the show. I
right.
flashed back. I'm like, oh shit. I remember Brian O'Halloran doing Stewie on the show. And that Stewie is named after Stewie.
Right.
And he's named after
So
Stewie.
it was like, oh my God, we drew first blood. in
No,
in
not at all.
retrospect.
It was, Kevin's camp, if you want to think.
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
But I mean, I believe at the time when we did the cartoon series in 2000, they were in between.
that's
being
when
canceled.
Yeah, they had.
So in the writers, and this was a thing that Kevin and Dave Mandel and those guys had. In that circle of Hollywood and the writers and comedy writers and animators,
And
there was that type of
apparently
thing.
there was some other writer over in Kevin's camp who worked or who kind of gave them shit during Mallrats.
something
Right.
like that.
Yeah. So I guess there are more layers than originally.
Correct.
Okay. So there's more of a back scene. But Ralph did sort of express wanting to make that all go away and
Yeah,
close the rift.
Oh my
it was
God,
funny
they would
because
be amazing together. That's
Because
why.
then I remember Seth MacFarlane had made reference in one of the in one of the Family Guy episodes about Kevin Smith.
Yes,
and his,
they started shooting back
and stuff like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's it's all in good fun.
I was so
It's not like Tupac Biggie, you know what I mean?
There
It's
was
not
actually
East Coast, West Coast
it was
going
such
on
a
here.
weird one. It was like, here it is, in whatever day, and I'm 5,000 years away from another Kevin Smith movie because they
Right.
were in the past.
And
or
wasn't
whatever
there
it was.
one like how sometimes he like scrolls like the people he doesn't like or something?
Yeah,
Wasn't
was
there,
he
like,
on
Kevin
that?
Smith on there?
I don't even
I
know.
could have sworn that he was on
There's
one
a
of those
list of
too.
people I don't like.
List of people I don't like.
That's from the marijuana episode. Where
Oh my
Ralph
God,
Garman
Ralph
does a voice.
Garman.
So
Pot.
we're all full circle here.
Pot,
So,
a small amount of pot.
but they did. When I talked to when he's like, yeah, and then that's what Ralph pulled. He said, I think they did something on the cartoon commentary.
Correct.
That,
Well, it was
Yeah.
aired. There was a scene where they shoot
Yes.
back to the writer's room, and you see a cartoon version of Dave Mandel with a book that's how to write a cartoon, and it says by Seth MacFarlane on it. If you've seen the cartoon series,
Yes.
I forget exactly what episode that is, but it's on one of the.
There's
episodes.
only 6.
I know, and but it's always a blur to me.
I have to go
'cause
back.
It's like 20.
Are they gonna do more? Are they gonna do that again?
No.
That's like a.
You know what? It's
an
something
absolute?
I would love to.
Is it an absolute?
I don't
though?
know if it's an absolute no.
No.
Only because
Nowadays,
huh?
nowadays,
I
But
don't know. It would be simple. It would simple to. We all have our own voices. When we visually become hideous to look at on live camera, I think it's something that maybe we can able to do. You never
But
know.
I mean, there's.
Yeah.
It seems like
That's the
there
beautiful
has to
thing about
be-
animation.
There has to be a place for it because there's so many places.
course.
To like.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
love.
there's
First of
like-
all, I've said it before on the show. I love that animated series. I think that the
It's
first
so
3 are
funny.
funny, and the second 3 are genius.
And
I mean, they're
people
just
like
off
Clerks.
the
Why
hook.
wouldn't they love the Clerks cartoon?
Of course, of course.
Duh.
But when you play the commentary tracks, it does make it much funnier.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
you
yeah.
guys
They're
do
always a lot
have
funnier.
there is a bitterness to that particular commentary track that does make it
Well, I mean,
a little more fun.
We would kind of had been canceled by that.
Yes,
point,
exactly. So you were airing your
Gee,
grievances.
I wonder where the bitterness comes from.
it's
Yeah.
literally getting the round table of the engineers who built the Titanic, and it was just like, well, we did our best.
Fuck that guy.
Hey, who would ever think we'd have a fucking iceberg come and hit our boat? All right. So
Hey.
and our iceberg just so happened to be Who Wanted to Be a Millionaire. That's what hit our ship, and that's what sank our ship. Was
Is that
once
true?
Oh yeah.
And plus,
Who
there
Wants
was
to Be a
there
Millionaire?
was a literal like so many animation shows just thrown out at once, like Dilbert and
Yeah, but
all-
Dilbert
like-
had a great run on UPN. That was the thing, that they had like 3 seasons.
because they went with the
'Cause-
smaller network.
Correct, and UPN came after
That's
David
right.
and Kevin and said, "Come on us, we'll take a full season." And it was Michael Eisner who called them to a meeting to ABC. He's like, "What do you need to go to them? They won't even be around next year." Which he was kind of right, but it was 7 years later before they died, meaning UPN as a network.
Yeah,
and then
and
they
they may have-
turned into My 9 and all those other.
You know, I
NWB.
just made a leap
Mm.
because you saying that's
Well, that's the truth.
that's when Kevin met with Iger and where he got the "don't fuck with the brand,"
Right.
most likely.
Right.
Oh no! Wait, no, wait a minute. There's a lot of aha moments going on because I think what's his name was in that meeting as well. The big guy from
Dave Mandel was in that meeting. It was Dave Mandel, Eisner, and Kevin.
Apparently,
and they were like, and he was, was giving them a really great deal. Like, look, you stay with us, a real network. We'll give you a Super Bowl ad. Giving you a Super Bowl ad, which at that time was like 1.5 million for 30 seconds. They were like, okay, so we literally had a Super Bowl ad. But the problem was that they kind of kept it for them so that no one else would have it.
Right.
They kind of knew that it was going to die. They didn't know what they were doing. They weren't really in. Obviously, it's a Disney company. You think they would know what to do with animation, but they didn't know what to do with this kind of stuff. This kind of animation. So.
Well,
The
yeah, because
fireworks
it's geared towards
salesman.
a specific like.
But you
specific
guys did
audience.
find it seemed like the show found its voice there at the end
Well,
too.
once again, it's a following of a brand that was known. It was a known
Right.
quantity back then, and Kevin had built up his fan base
He
by
has a cult
2000.
following, yeah.
So, and to this day, more and more now that people who were Generation Xers now have their own kids, and their own kids are now old enough to watch Kevin Smith's work, and show them this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Usually the cartoon is the first thing of Kevin's that they can show their younger
That
kids.
is true.
'Cause
That
there's
is
no
true.
cursing.
We
I
did
think
too.
I think we
We
did.
We did in fact do that
It's
before Clerks.
It's just the introductions
Yeah.
with Jay and Kevin
Yeah.
where Jay
It's the
curses up a
tween
blade.
age.
It's that stuff. You just got to skip the introduction to get right
Okay.
into the
That's
cartoon.
right. We did
And
that
you
too.
can- and you
We're
can
the
get
same psychos.
Right. You can get the kids introduced
Yeah.
to the Jay and Bob and Dante and Randall characters.
And those are great.
Yeah, it was something that I would love to do. I mean, and then when Jay came back to me and a few people to come back for the Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy cartoon movie.
Yes,
I
exactly.
thought, oh, here it is, and it's Stark doing the artwork. I was like, ooh, here's our chance to maybe if this picks up and do really well, maybe we can reconstitute a half an hour cartoon again, and we'll use Stark's version of animation, and we'll do. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it was a big success, and thanks to Jordan and Jay for producing that and putting the idea together and taking one of Kevin's comic book storylines and putting it into a movie format. And so, you never know. There's so many. It's like Kevin has a China shop. There are so many plates in the air of projects that he has spinning, and
there's so many possibilities too.
Yeah,
that's over here.
That's so much like.
Well, he has an animation movie sort of done. Stark has a Smoley Bible.
Yes.
And that was like going to be like how Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy cartoon movie was their sort of tour movie.
Right.
It was going to be Kevin and Scott's tour movie, and it's basically a best of Bible cuts from SModcast or whatever.
Right.
Set to a movie.
But are they going to do that though? I thought they weren't going to do that.
It's done. They just have to at some point when they're both around and need to take it on tour, or Scott needs money or whoever.
Maybe it's just not a priority now.
It's really tough to find distribution and outlets of different things. Like even the guys who put together Shooting Clerks, which we're a part of together. I mean, they're still trying to figure out the strategy of how they're going to. Yes, we've had screenings at film festivals and different type of Comic-Con events like that. But now is the time to, once they lock the movie in, because it's still not locked up. They still shot a few more cameos last weekend with Brian Johnson and a few others that I don't want to release. But once they lock the movie up and they want to get distribution, it's another thing that where do they go next?
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up Shooting Clerks because you were a big part of Shooting Clerks.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to talk about more of that too.
Yeah, you were a producer as well as you were in the movie.
Correct.
And I remember the night you shot that, I walked right past you and absolutely did not recognize you.
I didn't recognize you at all.
Totally did not fucking until you came up and introduced yourself, and I said, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, but hadn't we met him before that?
Of course, but like he was totally in character. You don't remember? His hair was slicked back. He was shaved. He was wearing a suit.
And these big horn rim glasses.
Remember, you're in the movie, Gene. You're in that scene.
I absolutely am. And I say nothing.
Where did we shoot that?
That was at a restaurant down, I want to say near Asbury Park, but it wasn't. It was further inland, I would say. Neptune. It was in Neptune.
That was like a big night for us. We were like so excited. Yeah.
It was good. And then that restaurant was good. The food was good. They had those, what was it, pulled pork cheese bites that were incredibly good.
Yeah. They did have they had like these like bitey things. I don't know what they were. Whatever my hand is doing, it's not doing it justice. Sorry.
I think those are the pulled pork bites. I think
is that what they were?
They were. They were so good.
Listen, you know what?
They can't all be winners.
And so so it was great, and this is a movie that's 4 years.
My hand made it into that scene somehow.
I saw that.
And I think Frank's did too.
Did you really know?
Yeah.
Did you notice his hand?
Yeah, just kidding.
I did. Believe me, I did. I've seen it 6 times now.
See, that's why he has to have the tattoo of his logo right where the thumb is. So anytime he does.
Yes, I'm that much of a shill.
Plus, it helps when he's masturbating.
Look! Not the last time.
It makes it that much bigger.
Oh my god, it's like so much hotter than. Yes. It's like so much hotter than
my ego. Feeds my ego.
This is so hot.
Figo.
Anyway, but listen.
Yes, ma'am.
I am in it in the background. I'm just like an extra in the background, but not the last time. Stop doing that. That was one of those spontaneous like.
After Ralph Garman said that we had great asses, that was her response. She was like,
"Yeah."
So I'll never forget it as long as we live.
God, I just want to die. But you know what? Ralph Garman just. Anyway, now I forget what we were talking about.
We were talking about Shooting Clerks and how you made it in.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I
That's
was
right.
in it. Now, not the last time we saw it, but the time before that.
Yeah, well, the only time
The
you
screen.
didn't make it was because they
The
had to.
screen
They
was-
framed it
the
weird.
s-
Yes, they had to go with.
The screen was just small
They
enough.
cut
that I
you
was
out.
But
Ugh.
the last screening I saw, which was in the Mammoth, you were in it.
I
Yeah,
was
she
in it.
definitely was in
it's-
it. Yeah.
and which is more the framing of
I
what it
know.
will be. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
no need to panic.
Yes, in the wide screen, it'll just be in the pan and scan for the TV version. You
I'm
might get
just-
chopped
right.
out.
I'm just happy. You know what though? I have to say, I'm just happy that I'm just like a happy. It's just happy. I'm like so
Yeah,
happy.
you're
Like,
working it back there.
God,
Peas and carrots
How
worked.
can you go wrong? Just happy the whole time.
Yes,
It's a great movie. It's like
So much
85% of it true.
It's
So
so
it's
much
great.
fun.
85.
Yeah, I would say
85?
15% of it is artistic license, and mostly it's just
Really?
timing issues and when things happen kind of thing. It's a
Now,
little-
how does that
little bit more
work with that?
condensed.
What's
Like-
cool actually is lately Kevin's been letting some of the more obscure ones that are in the movie slide. So
Right.
he's sort
Now-
of like reaffirming it.
Now, see, like when you have that, when there's like a 15% that's not right, like what do you do? Do
That's
you need,
just artistic. They need
do you need
to
to get
that.
permission though to do that?
No, I mean it's in a sense what it is
You're
is
altering. what
obviously what happened. Let's say in the bedroom with Brian Johnson and Kevin when he's screening for the first time Clerks to him. Obviously, no one knows what was said to each other for the most part. I mean, Kevin has talked about things and
Right.
Brian Johnson on different podcasts. If your piece, and that's what these guys did.
And
that's
names are
to-
changed to protect.
Names are changed, but also just
Yeah.
events are different changed. Like like some things like the I was just told recently, like the goodbye note to Kevin from his girlfriend in high school was changed and added to because of something they experienced meaning the guys who produced the film experienced while shooting.
Yeah.
A guy dropped out and he's like, "The hell with you guys," and he wrote them a note saying like, "I will never waste my time with you guys."
Oh,
blah,
okay,
blah.
so they kind of
and so they
kind of
weave that into the thing, and that's the
Oh,
type of the artistic
okay.
license you do. You got to make still the film entertaining as much as
Yes.
it's a true story. You still need to somewhat make it entertaining. And
Yeah.
even Kevin said it at the screening at his first time seeing it at his birthday party in the Atlantic Highlands. Even though he knows the ending of the whole film, because he lived it, he said he was still like, man, there was moments where I was like, I hope these guys get to finish the movie, or he was sucked in because of that moment. And that's the sign of great writing and filmmaking.
That's how I made it in, sort of. The Howard piece is a nod to the fact that as one of his influences to putting
Right.
the film together was Howard's, what was it, Private Parts.
Right.
Because you don't have many self-referential biography movies based on real people. So he looked to that a lot for inspiration. And in the end of the day, he said, I want to kind of nod to Howard in there. And plus, Kevin did have a history with.
Of course.
So it all
Of
made
course.
sense. So it worked out for me.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that actually really was cool. I mean, it's neat to see it, too, when it happens. And it always gets a little crowd response, too.
Yeah, it does. Well, everybody loves Howard, and everybody, wishes that he was free again on TV. You know what I mean?
I know.
I mean, those days when he was on
know.
WOR here in the New York area,
Right.
it was just a lot of fun.
What was that? Channel 9.
That was
Yeah,
the channel.
Channel
That would have been
9.
the Channel 9 show.
Channel
And then
9
the
show.
E people saw how successful it was, and they
that's right.
signed him to a
E.
gigantic
Oh my God, he would
contract
do
to be
that.
on
E.
Yep.
We were
remember that.
aping E more in style.
Right, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. And you did. You pulled it off great, man. I mean, to be honest with you, people really think it is Howard.
You did.
What's
Good
funny
job.
is I reached
You
out
did a good
to
job.
we reached out to a friend of Kevin's as well. Fuck, help me, Gene, because names go out of my
Who
head.
are we talking about?
Our Robin. We wanted to bring in Robin,
Yes.
and it.
Oh, a woman
was-
to play Robin
Donna?
Quivers?
Yeah,
Donna.
yeah, Donna. It was Donna. Thank you, Donna Turner. And we reached out to her, but she never
Oh,
got
she's-
back to us. And then, like long after the fact, I was like,
That would've
Donna,
been
you missed this
great.
chance. And she was like,
She could have been
"Ah!"
on screen just going chuckling. That's all.
Yeah, exactly,
Right,
exactly.
no,
Just
I
a
got it.
quick nod, it would have
Yeah.
worked, and but we couldn't get a hold of her.
Oh,
So
that would have been great.
yeah, she jumped right into my mind too when we were
She
doing
would have
that.
been perfect. She would have
Yeah.
been perfect.
Yes, and my
Yeah. I'm not.
If I would have known, I would have called Jackie Martling himself. I'm friends with Jackie. So.
it's funny because we
Oh,
recorded
yeah.
with God
Stacey Pressman.
Stacey
Ah,
Pressman
Stacey
last
Pressman.
week,
Yeah,
and she
she's-
said she
is,
just met
is.
you for the
That's-
first
that's
time.
Right. We had lunch, me, her, Jackie,
Yeah.
Steve Grillo, a few other people
Yeah, Steve
in
Grillo.
Manhattan 2 months ago. As a matter of fact, I just
Who's
hung
now
out
my
with
friend on
Steve and those
Facebook.
guys. Yeah, good guy, really good guy.
Yeah.
So are you a Howard guy? Were you
Oh,
a Howard
yeah.
fan
Oh,
back
yeah,
in the
yeah,
day?
yeah.
I mean, I think
just-
everybody
look,
was.
I wasn't paying for XM Sirius to listen to him from that point on, but I had friends who did, so I would hear the repeats from time to time in people's
Yeah.
cars and whatnot. But yeah, I was a big Howard fan. I remember
Me
going
too.
to high school and having a FM Walkman while going into school class and riding the bus, because it was like a 15-minute ride to school, and listening to Howard on the way in, and sometimes not getting to homeroom on time.
Oh, yeah, me too.
He was on a bit that you wanted to hear the ending of,
Yeah.
and this was before they would repeat, like XM, when he was on free radio on
They repeated all
K-Rock
the
and
time.
stuff. And I was just like, oh, man, I don't want to be late. And then there would be times I'd sneak in and have it playing in and put books on top of my Walkman just so I can hear some more. And when the teacher would turn her back and I'd put the earphone, I'm like, oh, what's going on? And he's got lesbians in the thing. God damn it. Things like that.
I remember my first, I was late. The first time I was late I was working at Sam Goody. So that sets the time. But it was during the Kinnison and Howard had a big fight. Like over the Bon Jovi thing, and I just could not stop listening.
Yeah.
And then they got into a big argument, and then Gilbert came in, and they were counting mans and dudes, and it was
Gilbert
so
who?
fucking brilliant.
Gilbert
Gottfried. Yeah.
I don't
You even have to ask.
I don't remember him so much.
Oh, that was one of the funniest moments ever.
So good.
I
Yeah, he
remember
was.
Sam Kinison a lot.
He was always
so funny.
He was always like the comics comic.
Who?
Like Gilbert.
Gilbert
Yeah,
Gottfried.
yeah.
He's much more
He's still really.
Yeah, he
still.
is.
Inside.
I've got to work with him a few times, and he is hilarious.
He has a great podcast too.
Someone wrote us recently about having him in the movie.
I'd love to have him in the movie.
Yeah, I said that too, but
Who?
I don't know. It was you never
He's in
really
New York,
know,
so
when
you wouldn't have to travel.
No.
Exactly.
I know, but it's hard to find contacts. Like,
and I think he's just
that's when you
changed
need
management.
Okay.
Because we were out west, and when we were out west, we actually interviewed his the head of his management team. But I think since then he's changed up. Yeah, remember when we went up into?
So then contact them; they would know where he went to.
Yeah. Well, I have all that info now.
Yeah, so
Some guy contacted us. He's like,
good.
"I'm a friend of a friend."
Oh my God, that's whoever that is. Thank you.
Yes.
No, you should definitely Gilbert's
that sounds
a
very
great.
unprofessional.
Gilbert's a great interview, so it would definitely.
Oh yeah.
Have you been watching the CNN History of Comedy?
We actually shared the bill of what was it, Podfest 2015?
Oh,
Because
very
he
nice.
was the headliner, and we were just earlier in the day. So
Yeah.
technically, we were on
It's
the same
kinda
bill.
fun. Have we been watching that? No.
Which
we have
which
not
show
been
was that?
watching
The History of Comedy on
Comedy.
CNN.
No, that's just started.
Yeah.
I
When
watched.
did that start? Last night?
No. It's in episode 4, so 4 weeks ago.
I
Oh
like
my
to binge
God. Can
those
we
when
go
they come
back?
out, like the
yeah,
80s
I think
and
you
the
can,
60s.
Yeah, I think you
and
can. It's on Sunday night, so the newest episode will be
Oh,
tonight.
great.
I think it's
Yeah.
at 10 o'clock. The
Ooh.
90s come on at 9.
And
I
there's
think
an
10
extra
o'clock.
long. Ooh,
Yeah,
the
the
90s.
Which
Yes,
have been really good.
You there,
Which I'm
Skippy.
still curious
and
if
we're
they're
on
even-
video. I'm like
doing the dance.
falling all over the place.
I'm still waiting to see if the CNN 90s show is going to mention at all. Because tonight is all the music.
Oh my God,
allegedly.
yes.
I wonder if they're going to
Yeah,
mention Clerks at all.
Clerks.
I know that.
Ooh, they should.
I knew that FX did a show, or National Geographic did a show called Gen X, hosted by Slater, Christian Slater, as the narrator.
Oh, cool.
That's a good
And
pick.
they
Slater.
Pump up the volume.
They interviewed Kevin. They asked my permission so that my image could be used and all this other stuff. And it was done. It was done really well, and Kevin did a great job. If anybody wants to see that, that's another one called Generation X, with Christian Slater by National Geographic.
Oh, wow.
National Geographic.
Yeah,
nice.
that came out
Oh,
last year.
yeah.
But I'm curious if they're going to do, because they did television shows of the 90s, but they didn't do anything really film related yet. Because
And 90s was a big thing.
gigantic for especially
Yeah.
Oh my
for
God,
independent
Nirvana.
Quote
filmmakers.
unquote.
That was their rise. You had the Jarmusch's, you had Kevin Smith, you had
And Kevin Smith was sort of, I mean, he sort of typifies a sort of a guy who was raised on film and literally
but who
like
also
was
continues to make.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
and was inspired by his that's why Shooting Clerks always made sense, and so did Snowball Effect.
Right.
Clerks is brilliant because it's the story of how it became a movie is just as fucking fascinating
Right.
as the movie itself.
Right. That's why, if anybody out there listening, if you follow my Twitter or Kevin's Twitter or Ulriki Media, which is the guy the filmmaker who lives in Scotland, no less. That's the other thing. People from Scotland made the film, which
Yes.
you're like, what? And they're like, yeah, Scotland.
And so by extension, Shooting Clerks has its own little weird, like how that was made.
Correct.
sort
Because
of
that's going on now, 4 years of how they pieced it together
Yeah.
and waited. They wanted to fly everybody to Scotland, but then the money just didn't come through and all this other stuff. And if you get a chance to see it screened when it's ready to come out, especially, please support it. These guys did an amazing job doing
They
it.
really did.
And
So much dedication and love.
But
went
yeah,
into it.
but we'd love to see if they put it on the 90s on CNN. That'd be interesting.
That would be great. Yeah, yeah.
Because I know Kevin did some commentary on the making of comedy, the history of comedy. He comes in and talks about comics, not comic books, but comedians on that show. So I saw him come into it, so I was wondering, I mean, but that's the history of comedy, not necessarily comedy films.
Okay. Yeah, but if you're doing a 90s thing, you can't not talk about Pulp Fiction.
But not only that, though. So you guys, since you are That Man on Fatman, you need to watch
you need
comedy
to watch it
because Kevin's on it.
You're darn straight.
We do. Content, sweetie.
God, we need to be tipped off of everything too. There's so much. Kevin is everywhere now.
This show needs a crew of 5.
Yes,
now.
we
really
do.
Need more people.
We have outgrown our small crew.
We need more people.
Who do you think is going to be more responsible first, Cameron or Maura?
You guys are already interviewing people for?
No, Cameron is our son and Maura's our daughter.
I know, but I'm saying, are you interviewing now? Because you should be. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, from my deep pockets of reserves here.
Yeah, you put a word out. Put a word out to the fans that are listening. Anybody in the northern Jersey area that want to work on a successful podcast and be an engineer or / who never know, because those are the guys like Howard Stern's Whack Pack all got in because they were just volunteering.
That's true.
Next thing you know, they got on air. Next thing you know, they had their own shows.
We can feed you though, and you can have coffee.
That's true.
Yes. Coffee and donuts are always
wonderful. And if you're an animal lover, they have wonderful, nice pets that give you huge greetings.
Yeah, if you're allergic to cats, you're fucked.
Yeah.
No, if you're allergic, you're done. Yeah,
you're done. You're dead.
No, you just wear a mask.
Just wear a mask.
No. That's what I do.
Right.
So tonight we're going to watch the comedy show. What is that called again?
History of Comedy.
History of Comedy. Then we're going to watch the 90s.
And the 90s comes first.
Now,
at 9.
when is Game of Thrones?
Here's the problem. Game of Thrones is on.
Where is Where is Game of Thrones?
That's at 9. That's at 9 o'clock.
And it's an hour and 15 minutes.
But here's the bonus.
Nobody watches anything when it's on it.
Correct. And the benefit of these 2 CNN shows, they do repeat it later in the night.
Yes.
So I'll watch Game of Thrones and fuck
and we did watch. We have dialed into the 90s, and I love all of their decade documentaries.
Correct.
I just like being able to binge them all at one.
No, which they do.
Fell swoop.
They usually will air like 3 of the episodes right in a row before the newest episode comes on, which I think they'll be doing tonight.
Speaking of, you must binge The Defenders.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice.
You think
nice
I would?
Hey, your girlfriend's in it big time.
Yes, Rosario Dawson's in it. So big shout out to Rosario.
We actually talked a little bit about that.
We said that. I'm like, oh my god,
she's amazing in it too.
She's so hot.
And
Not only
she's
amazing,
beautiful, but I mean, she's incredibly smart.
She's an amazing
and
actress.
Fantastically politically active. She's on the right side of history, as everybody knows.
She's an amazing woman.
Yeah,
Her
she's an
acting.
all around. Yeah, and then she's going out. She's going out with Andre. I forget the comedian's name. Forget his name. Anyway,
I'm terrible with names.
They make a great little super couple together as well.
Oh my god, I'm so happy for her.
And she's been living more and more here in the New York City area.
Yeah. When she acts, I swear, you're so like.
She's real. She feels.
You're so in that like.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah.
I'm just like she blows me away.
There's a couple moments. If you go back to Daredevil, there's an episode. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th where she's being attacked. And for God's sakes,
I haven't seen it. I have to see it.
Oh, you fucking believe that she has been in this situation because she's very convincing.
Oh, she'll cut a bitch.
Oh my God!
No, don't fuck with her. She'll cut a bitch.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, she fucking whacks a guy in the head.
Oh my God, Brian O'Halloran like acted with her and like how cool.
Yes.
And I'm thinking of like you were like doing her nails.
And
she was, like,
Michael worked with her on Defenders, so I was like, Michael, you have to get her on my show.
No, but it's so. But isn't that cool to think? Like, isn't that cool to think about?
Well, no, I mean it was an amazing experience working with her, and we keep in touch. So
and you do,
yeah, we do.
So awesome.
We do keep in touch. So she's been really, really cool, and like I said, I enjoy everything.
I heard she's a nerd too.
Super
she
nerd.
Loves
she
comic books.
She follows comic books. She had her own comic book for a while, and she keeps up with that big time. She goes to Comic Cons. Not only as a guest to sign autographs and stuff, but she likes to walk around and see what's out there and new anyway.
As a fan.
As a fan. That's the greatest thing is like it's a weird phrase. Like she's like a guy's kind of girl in a way.
I totally get that.
You talk shit to her, she snaps back and talks funnier shit back to you and stuff. And she's into sports as well as into comics, and she's into sci-fi, and yet then she's stunningly beautiful as well, and yet she can dress down and look hot, and she can wear the highest haute couture and still obviously look stunning, and that's the greatest thing about her. But
And she was your girlfriend in Clerks too.
I was very, very beneficial to. I was definitely thankful to Kevin. Like, wow, I'm getting paid for this. And, and it's awkward because you're working with Kevin, and then you look at the worksheet, and you're like, today we're doing. Oh, there's a dance routine on the roof, and okay, tomorrow.
Yes, I remember
now we're at a go-kart track.
Oh my God, I love that
And
scene.
then the next day is like, oh, you're making out with Kevin's real wife while she straddles you on a swing.
Oh my God, yes.
Talk
Jen!
about awkward. Talk about awkward.
Yeah, what was that like?
Well, let's put it into perspective.
Kevin
here.
really seems like he's into cuckold.
Let's put it into perspective.
He really does seem like he's into the cuck thing.
I wonder if he's into that.
I wouldn't at all be surprised.
Is that a weird question to ask?
No. Well, I don't know either. So I have no answer.
Okay, so
but at the same rate, you think it's.
So you've never been hired. Hey, Brian, can you come by the house?
Yeah. It's the weirdest thing. You've never had your boss say to you, "Hey, I want to film you making out with my wife while she straddles you on a swing," and I film it. It's no other job besides the porn industry is that going to happen.
Right.
It'd be weird if he said, "Did you get hard?"
Well, that's the worrisome thing. Is like I'm just, in my head. I'm like, please don't let the launch code start. You know.
Well, because she's like, yeah.
Because I'd be like, no, I would be like, look, it's the mic pack. It's not even me. It would be the size of a 9-volt battery anyway, so it doesn't make a difference.
And she's working the blonde wig in that. The California girl.
Oh, that wasn't a wig. That was all her.
Was that? Was that her?
Yeah.
Wow.
She colored her hair.
She colored it.
Yeah.
Wow. She must have stripped it and did. Yeah, you got to do it big time. Yeah,
she was so pretty in that. I would not.
I really thought it was a wig. I didn't know.
She's always smoking hot.
I would never. Yeah. So I wouldn't have been surprised if you got a hard on then.
She's on. Apparently, she's going to be on Comic Book Men this season.
She is.
She is. That's right. As well as the daughter.
She's dressed as a certain character.
Yes. Isn't she dressed as
Silent Bob?
Yeah. He talked a little bit about this on.
Yeah, he did. I didn't want to say too much.
Yeah. But apparently they kiss or something, and it's
they kiss each other.
Yeah. They're dressed. So it's a guy on guy kiss.
Oh my God!
A lot of beard going. Yes.
Only Kevin would do that.
Yeah.
Kiss himself.
Of course it would.
Himself.
Yeah.
Himself is not right. Is it himself or himself?
I don't know. Himself.
I think it's himself.
Yes, 'tis himself. It is. Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Tis himself. Oh my God! I was talking about my grandpa the other day. His name is Poppy Michael Burns. Rest in peace, sir.
Okay.
From Sneem, Ireland. And that's
who are we talking about?
He would call. That's what he would say. Himself.
Who were we talking about this?
My Poppy.
No, but who were we talking about this conversation? Who did we have that conversation with? Because I remember it.
Was it to each other?
Was it the Hawks?
It could have been. Yeah. It could have been. To each other.
The irony. The irony.
I was talking to somebody, and they said this, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds familiar. Wait a minute, that was me.
That's why it sounds familiar.
No, I know.
Oh, no, it wasn't him. I talked to anybody else but him. No,
yes, indeed.
We talk a lot to one another, just so you can tell.
I should hope so. You live in the same house.
So before anyone forgets, September 6th, there's going to be a big event down in the Red Bank area. Or is it?
Yeah,
Red Bank.
No, it's not Red Bank, sweetie.
Atlantic Highlands.
Atlantic
See, to us up here in Morris County, that's, all one big mess.
Atlantic Highlands is where Kevin grew up.
Yes.
Kevin would get entertained in Atlantic Highlands. Atlantic Highlands also is the same town that the First Avenue Playhouse is still, where
That's
Kevin
right.
held the auditions for the film.
Yes.
And I was one of the auditioners along with, Marilyn Gigliotti and Jeff Anderson and Lisa Spoonhour and stuff. So,
God,
which is also referenced in Shooting Clerks, going back again.
Now there's one little weird thing because I feel it's a little bumpy in transition. I'm glad it's there, but it comes across a little bumpy if you know the backstory, because Lisa Spoonhour, who passed,
God rest her soul.
Yes. She wasn't found through the First Avenue Playhouse. Apparently, he found her through the college.
And this is the issue. I say that 15% of it is
exactly. So, and it does feel a little bumpy there if you know the story, because
which he's talked about on his podcast as well.
And I said to the guy, the Shooting Clerks guy, I think I said to Brad, I'm like, the only thing is, like, if he just had seen her at Atlantic Highlands, why would she be so weird out in the car? It just, to me, that seems a little bumpy.
Well,
but if you know the real story, then you know that.
And in the movie, the Kevin Smith character says, like, "Oh, you arrived late. You might have not heard my introduction."
Yes, he kind of explained that.
He kind of covers it, and that's something that actually they shot just recently after Lisa had passed. Because Lisa had, during the interviews that they had with Lisa about what had happened during the making of Clerks, she had told them a whole series of other backstories of things that, she said. Like, there was this one story about how she actually accepted to do this because she thought Kevin was kind of cute, and
So
he
cute.
wanted to see what was going to happen. And so they actually they found extra money from people online and stuff like that, and they shot these 3 or 4 extra scenes that had more Lisa Spoonhour's character in it, and it put it into the film to have more because Christopher Downey, the writer-director, said, like, if I didn't put this in, these stories would be lost. No one would ever know about these backstories, which really happened. So that's why he added all these extra scenes. And so it's a great tribute to her, especially
really
about,
is.
but yes, in the real aspect of what happened in getting Lisa to be a part of Clerks, they took some, creative license to make her that she came to the auditions.
So she was not at the audition.
No, and if you...
No, she did a script. He saw her at a script. He was sitting in the back of a class or something, a drama class.
At Brookdale College.
Yeah.
And saw her at a drama class, and she was doing a staged reading of something. And
he
liked
just
what
thought,
she did.
she
and he
seemed
approached
real.
her, but he approached her. The parking lot's part of it is correct. He approached her while she was in the parking lot, and she was like,
by
whoa,
herself.
And she was like talking to him through.
So
the
that's why it was like some sort of weird stalker was on her.
Right.
I think it's Stephanie Price plays her. She did a really good job.
She did an amazing job as her as well.
Yeah.
And so it's those type of things like I was talking about earlier about dramatic license. Like, well, did it really happen that way or not?
Yeah. So knowing the real story, that's why I felt like, I wonder if it's going to translate well. But I love the final cut. I love the additions.
And there's more to come. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
this isn't really, the film is not even locked in yet. So this is like the second to last.
Oh my God,
final
we've
cut.
seen it like 7 times.
So we could still get cut yet, Gene. You and I.
No.
But listen, Bob, the gentleman who plays Bob Hawke is great.
Oh yeah. And apparently Bob Hawke is now.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep it a secret.
Well, I don't know what he is. I just know that apparently something was shot with him.
I think so. We're gonna
See
make
what happens.
You can't tell everybody everything.
Well, I think the internet has been telling everybody everything.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm sure within the next couple of months you'll have those guys back on the show to promote.
Yes,
Once we
indeed.
have it finally locked down, and I'm sure they can talk about it then. And maybe the man himself can come in and if you send a car service for him to come in and do an interview.
That'd be awesome. What the fuck was I going to... The one button I loved, and I won't say what it was, but when they added Randall's mom, that, to me, was sweet.
Right.
And then I went over to talk to him about it, and he was like, apparently they used a special effect on that. And I was like... there's more story just there.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, but I enjoyed that button a lot. And because when I said to it, I'm like, wait a minute. He's like, she didn't do that. And I said, but wait a minute, in my memory... I distinctly remember her doing it. And he's like, and then he went on to tell.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't want to spoil anything, folks. I don't want to throw any spoilers. Anyone who's seen it, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Those who haven't, you'll figure it out.
There'll be more screenings.
The gentleman who played Jeff Anderson was quite a cutie pie.
Oh, yeah. Tom.
Yes. Tom was an awesome guy.
Yes.
What's his last name?
God.
Woodard or?
No, Constantine.
Constantine.
No, wait. Who?
It's terrible. I don't remember his last name.
We're all like, it's as soon as you put a mic in front of us, that's where it goes.
He's so charismatic.
Yes.
He is, and very well. I mean, for a guy who his native accent is Scottish. From Edinburgh, no less. To pull off a Jersey accent and the mannerisms of Jeff Anderson.
And the funny thing is when
Tom Sullivan.
Yes, that's right, Tom Sullivan. When he came up to me, we hadn't seen him since November.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe when I saw him, he wasn't as bearded or whatever.
Plus, he's a lot more
cut. Oh my God! And plus, he was all dressed up. I mean, essentially, I eventually told him he looked like a fucking Bay City roller.
Yeah.
Because
his dress.
Wow, that is a reference that you pulled out of your ass.
Nice fucking pull, huh?
Wow.
And Scottish to boot.
1973 call. They want their band back.
But he had the vest on and everything, man.
My brother had that band on 8-track, bro. 8-track.
Hey, I remember my father. My parents used to listen to the fucking flashback 50s station.
I got
and they would play that song every weekend.
It's a gigantic hit.
Yeah. So, but he looked like a Bay City roller. So I'm thinking, where the fuck? I know him. I know he's in the movie.
What the hell?
What part was? And then
He's on the album.
eventually, yeah,
It's
we're
so cute in
talking,
the
and
movie.
Gene's like, and I'm like, oh fuck, he's Jeff Anderson. How the fuck did I not remember that?
Yeah.
And then I went over and talked to him and explained everything. Dropped the Bay City Roller,
Right.
which he didn't get.
Of course not. He was too young.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
he's like,
Scottish.
who the fuck is that?
It was
I
like
had no idea.
pulling from his deep
The
cavern.
gentleman. Oh wait, the gentleman who played Walter was supposed to be at the
Yeah,
at the
as
Monmouth
was
Film Festival.
Kevin.
They were on the bill. I don't know what happened.
I think a couple of people were ticked about that too.
Really?
On what bill? What are you talking about?
They were supposed to be there.
At the Monmouth Film Festival.
They were on there.
Correct. Well, Christopher Downey had a medical issue. He had to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, is he okay?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
fine. And then he was just he had prescription that ran out.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
And the Americans don't.
Yeah.
They have national health care, what we don't.
Yeah, he
and
would
so,
have to pay $1 million for a fucking pill or some shit.
Plus, he has kids. He was missing his kids
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And then the guy who played Kevin Smith, he was never booked to be at the
Yeah.
event, so he left on his regular
But
time.
Kevin was actually billed to be there.
Yes,
at
but
Monmouth.
the flight getting back out west for Funko was gonna, with the weather that was coming through the Northeast. I
Yeah.
think he wanted to get on an earlier flight so that he would get to Funko to
That makes sense.
tape
To the
that.
Funko
Yeah,
Pops.
so that's why he left.
That makes sense.
But his mom, Grace, stayed around.
Yes,
Oh my
she
God,
that was
actually
so great.
she was
She's
supposed to leave
so
right after that
sweet.
Saturday night in Atlantic Highlands, but she stayed a whole other week just to hang out more with the filmmakers, which was great. And
That's
She
true.
stayed the whole week. To hang out
yeah,
with
she
them?
did. She did.
I'm glad she was there
Oh,
because I handed off
Grace,
Kevin's
it's
birthday
so
present to
sweet.
her.
Yeah,
And then,
you got to give her
and
that.
I thought
then
it was
she,
safe there.
Yeah.
And speaking about extra footage, they did some extra footage with Grace as well.
Oh wow! Any milk footage?
I don't
wonder-
know. We'll see.
Oh my God.
Because
that
they
would
currently
be
have some
so
crazy
great.
Scottish lady who's actually the director's mom.
Well, yeah, he felt that if
I love
Kevin could
that.
put his mom in, why
Yes.
not he put his own mom in, which is hilarious because she is such a Scottish accent.
Oh my
Yes,
God, I
hilarious.
loved it.
Yes,
You like
and
shove that milk up your arse. It was like
Arse,
a
you're up your arse.
he also, if you realize, he gives her the origin of the movie title.
Right.
Because it's her.
Clerks.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
She does a great
Hurrah.
job. I love
She does.
it.
She does an amazing job.
So,
Of it.
up your arse.
I like the guy who plays Vinny too. He's
The guy, well, even
Ah.
and,
And
here was,
that's
and
Brett
the greatest
Murray's
and the
brother.
greatest compliment was Vinny loved the guy who played Vinny.
Oh,
Yeah,
Vinny,
yeah,
and
yeah,
if
yeah.
anybody follows Vince Pereira, and he does his movie reviews, especially online, he's very particular about
Yeah.
small details and the essential details, and
Yes.
he really, really, and we all did. We really went, oh my God, this cat who played Vinny got him exactly the way he was. And
Oh my God, the guy who played
He's
you
been
is
flirting with
adorable.
this show for
Brian
quite some
Hahn.
time, Vinny.
Yeah, the guy who
Right?
plays me, who his voice and everything,
I
it was spooky. I was
know.
like, I don't remember voicing over dubbing this guy's voice.
Man,
everybody-
here's what I'll say,
Everybody
though.
turned to me and like, oh my God, this guy sounds exact and kind of looks exactly
I
like me.
know.
That guy though has an innocence that I don't know if you've ever had.
No,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? He's got there's something very sweet about him that I don't know that you've ever
Oh,
had.
I've had that.
Little devil
If
in
you
you.
knew
I
me
have to
back
go
in
back.
90, if you knew me back in '93, I did have that sweetness. I'd become jaded and angry all these years.
It does fade, sweetie.
Now
you
it's
know
like,
that.
go fuck off. No,
Yeah.
just kidding. It's that type of
That's
thing.
probably why I was afraid of you. I used to
Afraid
be.
of me?
I was very afraid of you. I don't know if you
No.
remember that. Oh yeah.
Well, I
if you
don't
go
know
back
because
to
I
this
wasn't.
first
I didn't
show.
know you. How would I know if you were afraid of me?
Well, I talked about it. I probably talked about it in our first interview.
Mm.
I was very nervous of you because I've seen you cut people to ribbons live.
Well, that's just that's comedy, man.
That's
I'm-
comedy.
Yes.
There's a difference. It's all love and war when it comes to comedy.
See, and
Yeah.
but then you get a chance to roast him if you're lucky.
That's true.
Or come visit me and do the roast. Exactly.
Yes.
We also have coming to the roast, which is September 6th.
Ernie will be there, right?
Ernie O'Donnell's on the dais. That's right.
Yes.
But we also have some surprise guests who are going to come in and
Ooh,
maybe
fun.
do a joke or two, or maybe make an appearance, and maybe do more than one joke or two. We have a couple of surprise guests who couldn't make it that we're going to have video feed in on them as
Oh,
well.
nice.
Not live, but they've recorded stuff for us. So it's not just the people on the dais. Come on down. There's only 150 seats, so it's going to sell out quickly.
Wow.
And there's like so much going on.
And
There's
Yeah.
so many
and
people.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
and part of the money is going to a wonderful charity called the Brody Fund,
Okay.
which is a charity.
Brody?
Yes, which is a charity based out of down in the Red Bank area of grants that are given to families who can't afford treatments for cancer for their pets.
Ah.
So it's part of the money is
nice.
going to
Okay.
that fund. Tickets are only $20.
Is Scott connected with them?
I think he's
yeah,
Angels for Animals.
he's Angels for Animals.
Okay.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right. I get all my charities mixed up.
There's
Yeah,
bunches of them.
there's
So these are I know the woman personally who runs this charity. And
what was it again? Can you say the name?
Yeah, the Brody Fund.
The
You
Brody
can go
Fund,
online
okay.
to Twitter account and Instagram.
Okay.
The Brody
That's such a nice thing to do.
BRODIE, thebrodyfund.org.
Just like Brody.
Yep.
Like Brody.
Yeah,
Well,
from
it was a
Mars,
cat.
yeah.
It was a cat of hers who got nasal cancer, and who was getting. She would go get her treatments. Now she's a woman who can afford to get the cancer treatments for the pets, but there are people who can't afford these treatments.
And that's how you get back.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Diana? Did Diana find?
Did Diana what?
Did she find this person for you?
No,
Or
no,
is
no,
this someone who-
no. This is a woman who've been friends. Me
Okay.
and Diana have been friends with for years and years.
Because I know she's also a.
Yes,
you know,
no, yeah, you know, we have similar friends who we're all animal.
We're all
lovers.
bleeding hearts, and
Yeah, we have a soft spot for pets and animals, and sometimes.
Yes.
So this woman just started this fund 2 years ago. So when she said, "Hey, I'm starting this charity," and she's also a cat therapist, pet therapist, and she has a business called The Contented Cat. So she does Reiki and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, she
Reiki?
yeah, it's really some interesting
like
stuff.
ear Reiki.
That's
No,
like
I guess.
that's like chakra stuff.
Right.
I know.
So and she also does a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, if you want to come down,
I forgot my mantra.
Part of the money is going to the Brody Fund.
Yes,
It's
to
a
help
wonderful
kitties with
location,
cancer.
Atlantic Highlands. You want to be there because it's going to be hilarious.
Oh my God, there's going to be
It's
so
gonna
many
be
funny people there.
It's going to be so many, and there's people I can't even say because we're trying to keep
It's
it a huge surprise.
And we like spoil the shit out of things, so you can't.
Yeah,
tell us
yeah.
anything.
You tell us. No.
Yeah,
You gotta tell us off air.
No, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not.
I don't
Nope,
blame you.
I don't want you.
Will Grace be there?
Don, stop yelling.
That
at
I
me.
can't say. That I can't say either. But
And-
definitely, you definitely want to come down to it. It's on First Avenue in the Highlands. The address is number 40 First Avenue, right above the Harborside Bar and Grill. If you're from that area, especially, this is a can't miss event. It's a Wednesday. You have nothing going on Wednesday.
who has stuff
We'll
going on
get done early
Wednesday?
enough. You'll be able to get to work with no problems.
Yeah.
150 seats will sell out.
And don't
150
bitch that
seats
you
will
have to
sell out
work the next
quickly.
day because you
Yeah.
only live once.
I fly out the next day to Nashville for Wizard World. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so I
Okay,
gotta
that's
gotta
gonna be
pack up
fun.
and stuff, and I'm
Nashville.
co-producing it, so I gotta make sure things get wrapped up. So I can't even
Oh.
I can't even drink like I normally do and then just go home.
Oh, because you
Is it
have,
your
like,
birthday? Is it around your
responsibility.
birthday?
No, my
okay.
birthday's December 20th. It was
Okay.
just something that Chris Covert, my good friend and comedian, said we should do a roast for you, and I was like, okay, do we really wanna? And then he was like, no, we're doing it. And so
Is it
then-
being filmed?
I believe so. I believe
Okay.
we're going to
Yeah.
tape it. So
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
some point we'll have some sort of outlet to air it.
There you go.
But definitely
There you
come
go.
down. It's worth it.
Because there's a lot of people that want to see that, like outside the
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
If you want
roasts are fun. I
Yeah.
mean,
They are.
they can be quite. Let's see.
mean.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they are. They're mean.
Yeah,
They're
but it's there's a difference between mean and mean-spirited.
correct.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
exactly.
good because look, I have a spine that I can take shit.
Right.
And-
Yes.
And look, I know all my faults. It's not, and I goof on my own faults
Right.
all the time. So you're
Right.
not going to tell me nothing that I don't already know. People are going to be there's going to be a lot of people like, hey, he had sex. He's dressed
Yeah.
as a clown in a movie. I'm like,
That's
yes,
true,
dude, I
that's
was
true.
there. I filmed
my
it. I
God.
know. So it's that type of stuff
That is
that'll
true.
start happening. They're gonna
Amazing
goof,
movie.
You
They're going to
were-
goof on. They're going to goof on Brian. And here's the
Brian,
thing.
you were amazing in that.
Oh, thank you. We put a lot of work into
That is
But
amazing work.
But I'm
and-
telling you, you yourself, I know everybody put
Yeah.
a lot of work in it, but you put a lot
Thank
of work.
you.
You
That's
blew
fucking heavy
my
shit.
head off.
Thank you.
Seriously.
But you didn't kiss a man in it, so I don't know if
See?
it actually is true acting. No,
So,
I was doing a bad
Ben Affleck.
the Ben Affleck
you know what?
reference.
Yeah, because I think that was kind of twisted around. I
No,
just-
actually, Kevin
I
talked about it
think-
recently on the show. And
yeah, I don't know. I think he kind of.
I was going low rent anyway.
That was
Too
really
soony on my
I
part, for
was
sure.
trying to give him like an amazing review because it's true.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
and Brian
thank you.
Johnson, who will be there as well, who
Yes.
wrote, directed, and co-starred in it. So we'll be
Will there
we'll be
be-
goofing on each other. Everybody's going to be goofing on each other. So it's not
Yeah.
just I'm not taking the brunt of all the goof.
Right.
And like I said, it'll be fun. It'll be a great time.
Well, and it's really like a loving thing. It's
It
not
kind
like
of it
a
is
hate
it
thing.
it's a
It's
weird
kind of a weird
in
thing.
a weird way. It's an honor to be roasted. That
Right.
people think enough of you that I want to
Right.
bring people to talk shit about you right in front of hundreds of people
Because I know you can take it.
because I know you can take it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, let's see, people are going to roast you. People are putting you in movies about an aspect of your
Right.
life.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot
It
of
is
bells
weird.
rung.
It is definitely very weird. I never thought that there'd be a movie where someone else portrayed me in real life,
Yeah.
except
God,
maybe
that
like
must feel
on
so
America's
good.
Most Wanted.
Well, I mean, it is weird, like as if no one's ever been middle aged before. But now though that 90s generation is getting to the middle age.
Right.
And we're seeing heroes die. We're seeing, things that we used to think were cool become kind of pop culture-y and sought after, like Atari and all. Did you
That's
read?
Still cool though.
Yeah. Did you read Ready Player One? Oh, Spielberg is doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the movie,
and it just celebrates pop culture and all. It's kind of like what's that with Katniss? What the hell's that movie?
Oh, the Hunger Games.
It's like Hunger Games for geeks.
Oh, right on.
Like in virtual reality, and the fact that Spielberg is directing it puts it over the top.
So that means Tom Hanks is in it.
I don't know if Tom Hanks is in it. I don't know.
He's going to be someone in it. Come on. They're joined at the hip.
Have you seen any movies this season, this summer?
Have I?
Yeah.
The last thing I saw was the Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
What'd you think?
What would you think?
I thought it's great for high school kids. I think it's awesome for high school kids who don't need to know the origin story.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was I thought it was good for them.
Yeah.
Is it good for us who know pretty much every incarnation of any Spider-Man movie? It's it's a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that was sort of our whole family's reaction to
Like
it. Not that we didn't
hard.
like it, but
No,
just,
like I said,
it was a
liked
good
it.
movie, but it was like, oh, it's
But
another
I saw what the marketing ploy was. The marketing ploy is let's get millennials, much younger millennials into it.
So they
What's
got
the
what
next
they
name? I'm
like
just
Guardians was a far better superhero movie.
See, that I haven't seen yet.
See Guardians
and
too.
I know, like,
and
half the
Rooker's
people.
amazing.
I
in it.
know. Yeah.
Oh
Rooker's
my God,
amazing,
Brian,
and you'll
you
love
are
it.
going to love
And what
it.
I'm afraid of now is just by saying that, I've kind of 24'd you.
No, don't even worry about it. I know. I talked to Rooker, so I know that he's amazing. And he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna vote for me for the People's Choice Award, right?"
Oh my
I'm like,
God,
"Yes,
you sound
Rooker."
just like him.
Wow. Oh, that's right. You're a convention guy.
Yes, me and him have the same agent.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes.
So
There's another guy on your roster
Sean-
we're trying to
Sean-
lawn too.
Sean Gunn is
Sean
with us.
Gunn.
Who
Oh,
are
you said
this
it.
weekend they're up
We're
in
supposed to-
terrific.
Why you give it our hair? Yeah, they've been working. We've been working Sean Gunn for the
Yeah,
show.
to see
so.
he might
Yeah.
we might have him as a
Well,
guest.
make sure you ask about his cat charity
Oh.
as well.
I will.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
He's a
Does he have
big-
another cat charity?
He's a
Yes, he has
yes,
a cat charity,
he
big
does.
cat charity as well. So
He's
I
amazing.
was reviewing some of his information, yes, and he
Yeah,
does have a cat charity.
He won my heart in the first movie when he was like, Captain's going to make him do stuff, or whatever the fuck it was. I was like, I love this guy. I don't know who he is, but I love him.
But he also does all the stand-in work for
Yes.
Rocket the
for
Raccoon.
Rocket, yes.
So now he's getting a lot of work doing
I
all that
know.
stuff.
That's why
He's
I wanted
like
to
the
get him in here.
American. He's like the American version of Circus.
He's
my
becoming
God.
like, yeah,
I tell
exactly.
you, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Andy
He's become the
Serkis.
CG
When
guy.
Andy Serkis can't do it, get Sean Gunn.
Did
I
he do
love
King
Andy
Kong?
Serkis.
Someone
Well,
else
King
did.
Kong did Circus. Andy
No,
Serkis
no.
did King Kong.
This King Kong lives. Apparently, there's another guy, another
really?
King Kong in there.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
It's not the movie isn't
Another
that great,
Andy
but I will
Serkis or
say
King Kong?
this: like the first, 30 minutes or so, are like when you finally see King Kong, and they don't keep it that long. It's probably about 20 minutes in. When he fucking rips the shit out of these guys in the air, it's awesome. So it's
Is this the Skull Island one?
yeah,
you're talking
let's go
about?
on.
All
I
right.
mean, it's not big on plot. It's not big on
It's a King Kong movie.
Exactly. Which means they did it right. So if you're a King Kong fan, you'll have fun.
The whole thing just makes me sad. I feel bad for him the whole time.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know
like
why.
watching it. It just upsets me.
The only thing I was sort of let down was they stuck so much to the origin. They have these monsters that look like the pit crawlers that have like no legs, just kind of
Right.
wiggle. So they built like these giant CG versions of them, and it just doesn't scare me. Just they only have 2 limbs. I don't know. All right,
just
that's me.
find the whole
And I love the
movie-
first movie.
I
I'm a
just
fan.
find the whole movie like a big let's provoke the ape.
Well, it's a big setup for King Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, you're
I know,
totally
it's
going to be disappointed then with Planet of the Apes if you don't like the Provoking of the Ape movies. It's a whole series of nothing but
I know,
Provoke
I
the
just-
Ape movies.
Yeah, I know. It's just
But another Andy Serkis movie, by the way.
Andy Serkis. I
yes,
love him.
yes, that's right.
And I love all the background, the Lord of the Rings, like the background stuff, and he's in it. Isn't he in it?
Yeah, he's also second unit director too.
And Hobbit, right?
Yeah,
too?
that's right.
And the
He's second
Hobbit?
unit for
The second-
Hobbit. Yeah, that.
But when did he start that though? Because he
The
was
second
in
unit
beginning,
stuff?
yeah, like that
Right,
was sort
the
of
beginning?
dropped
I think
on
it was
him.
the second or third movie of the Lord of the Rings
Oh.
series. Then he's like, "Look, I want you to be."
all of the making of. If you love the Lord of the Rings,
It was the Hobbit series, and he
Was
brought
it
him
the
into
Hobbit?
act,
I'm
and he's
sorry.
like,
I'm
"Oh,
sorry, I did get it confused.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah." The Hobbit stuff is nuts.
All of the making.
Hey, let's
of the
take
Hobbit,
it. Let's take one book and turn it into 3 movies.
But the making of is so interesting.
Yeah,
All
making
of
all
it.
that shit's interesting.
I know.
I
It's
love all
awesome.
of it.
And Kevin hates all those movies.
Yes, he
Kevin-
does. Because they're
really?
walking movies.
They're walking movies.
Or are you just taking it out of the Clerks 2 joke?
Well, he does
he mentioned
occasionally
it
touch on it,
I thought
and
he
he has said that like the rings aren't his jam.
No, I get it.
It's not his thing.
But
so.
I think he.
I don't think he was a D&D player. That's why.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I don't
He
think
never
it's-
held a 20 side.
But if he
Right.
really thought about it, the movies they're so like conversational and so like
Well,
character, like development.
I got
That's
no
why I
problem
think-
pointing out that like at least 3 of
Jay
his
and
movies are
Silent Bob.
road movies.
Look,
Jay and
they're-
Silent Bob is walking. How often do
they're-
they walk?
Exactly.
Jay and Silent Bob.
The
when they're
Lord of the
walking.
Rings and the Hobbit movies, they're plain and simple. They're character.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's not about the plot of getting to where they need to go.
Right.
Exactly.
It's the actual
It's the
character
journey
study.
getting there.
It's the character
Exactly.
study.
Exactly.
So, I
and,
know.
And you need 3 endings. to
And
get
Brian did. He said, "You think?" I don't really know. He might kind of like them.
Since every episode is like a comic book, and since every first reader is bound to tune into this episode, Clerks 3. What happened?
I'm the wrong guy in the chair for that one.
In a nutshell.
That's a Kevin Smith, Jeff Anderson question.
I know.
And
Okay.
it's pretty much, and Kevin has talked about this on his
He's
own
talked
show.
about
Yeah.
You know, it got into when the script was written. I was on board. Obviously, everybody was.
Yeah, I
saying
remember
yes
you
to
loved it.
And then, at one point, there's parts of the script that actually made me cry. And,
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's how wonderfully beautiful
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And so, when it
There's
came
parts
down
of Clerks too that make me cry.
well, yeah,
so.
absolutely. There's when they brought in this production company that Kevin had worked with on his Tusk movies and everything else, and they were new to the Clerks group of people to make movies, and then they came in with offers and stuff. Just things started to get a little haywire. They came in very not on board with what we wanted to do, meaning me, Jeff, and everybody else. And so it kind of went from there, and then there was just back and forth with Jeff thinking Kevin was in control of all that, which he wasn't, because he's not producing it technically. It was this production company that was, and it just went ugly really quick. And instead of negotiating back and forth, it just went ugly.
So is that Demarest, I believe? Is that
I have no idea, and nor do I, care about who it was, because it just fell through. And for the longest time, we would say, like, look, we're working on it. There's some logistics we're working on, which it is. It's a logistics getting things signed. And then it just fell apart. And so it sat there. But knowing what Kevin is going to be doing now with the Jay and Silent Bob movie, because then we were going to move on to a Mallrats TV series.
Yes.
So Kevin,
but then
Universal stepped in, look, we don't want to do a film. If you want to, we'll give you the option to do maybe as a TV series. Kevin wrote 10 parts of episodes of a miniseries, shopped it around to all television and streaming kind of outlets that he thought would be hip to it. As of right now, no one has said yes. Now, the thing about people need to understand is TV is different and streaming is different than films getting greenlit or not. It just because someone says no now or doesn't say yes now doesn't mean it's a no forever. It's something that someone, television and streaming executives, those positions get high turnover. And it's a matter of someone who's sitting in the chair who makes decisions who goes, yes, this is worth putting funding towards. Let's do it. And we'll see what happens. So Kevin took some of the ideas that was part of Clerks 3 and put a little bit in that Mallrats series. Now that has been put on not go yet, and now he's doing this Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie, he told me a basic outline of where that's going, and there's a good portion of what was going to be in 3 going to be in the Jay
I love that.
Now, that would make sense because, first of all, he owns the rights. He and Jay own the rights to Jay and Silent Bob, so no one can stand in the way in that regard.
But also, technically, when we last left off Clerks 2, they were silent partners of the Quick Stop.
That is very true. Yes, indeed they were. There's all kinds of crossovers in the universe.
Correct. So with all that being said, it's not that far to see that Dante especially shows up.
And you were a dad.
Sorry. Yes, I was expecting dad at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun stuff that was going to happen in Clerks 3. And Kevin has hinted that he may say.
Have you seen a Jay and Silent Bob rebooted script?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I think Scott has seen it. Jay has seen it. Obviously, his wife, who reads everything he does, has seen it. People that he specifically wants to see it has seen it. I think maybe about 10 people have seen it. I am not one of those 10.
Of course, I mean, it's genius because it's hey, we're making fun of rebooted movies.
Correct.
They're rebooting Jay and Silent Bob. Correct. We want to stop the reboot.
Okay, I have to say this before we go on.
It's a road movie.
And it's, it's cameo filled.
Oh my God, I love all that.
It opens itself up.
Yeah, so I have to say, I love Clerks just because it's Clerks. And it was like the first of But I love Clerks too.
Yeah, me too.
It all depends.
It
all depends on how it hits you.
I know, but it's just like that movie. You just go to.
I like them
it's
both.
Like a comforting movie.
The only thing you'll say, without Clerks, you can't have Clerks 2.
Of course not.
But I mean,
Stewie's getting photographs.
It's like Stewie gets the photographs here, but we can bowl over.
He's the best.
Yes, yeah, he's a good cat.
So cute. Is he showing you his belly?
No. He's sleeping and he's in a position.
He's
that's very
so
funny.
content with it.
He's the cat that you can.
Right.
The only thing he doesn't like is being picked up.
Most orange tabbies are that exact way.
He doesn't like to be picked up, and he won't like jump on your lap.
Mm.
He likes to be like over here, and you pet him on a separate, like that.
And we have a female tabby who's way too smart.
No.
And way too bitchy.
She's a calico.
Calico, what is that?
Calico,
Yeah.
she's very much the personality of a calico.
Yeah. Psycho. But way too smart, too.
Smart,
She'll watch TV and shit.
Smart and crazy. Yeah.
Sorry. We're talking about our cats. I think that means it's time to wrap the show
up. We
up.
can talk about cats forever. And Brian's a cat person.
Yep.
Yes, he is. But, I think it's time to say goodbye because we've been on for about 90 minutes now.
And we can say good riddance to Steve Bannon.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God.
Well, let's not get political. Let's save that for the other show.
No, I can say that.
That is on hiatus because, folks, my son has gotten a job and he's learning balance. So hopefully in another week or two.
And he'll be learning that for the rest of his life.
BCJ will be back on. But until then, I need that for my political angst. I'm also stalling, so I'm queuing up our outro. Wrong one, dummy. I want to thank Brian O'Halloran for coming in today, being in the house. It's such an honor.
Thank you guys so much.
Now give us all of your
social?
Twitter stuff and social stuff.
Yes.
Brian C. O'Halloran, C as in Christopher. Brian C. O'Halloran on Twitter, on Instagram. If you want to do Facebook, it is that Brian C. O'Halloran on Facebook. Come on out Wednesday, September 6th. You can get tickets at Eventbright. Just type in Brian O'Halloran Roast, and that'll get you there on Eventbrite for tickets. $20 to come. Going to a great cause, some of the money, so please come on out.
Yes, for the kitties.
Brian's a very funny stand-up. I actually have like 20 minutes of your material
I
need to post.
Yeah, that was literally off-the-cuff type stuff
God,
because we were stalling for one of the screenings of Shooting Clerks. Which
and you're like,
this makes sense now. I can post it with this. It'll be sort of a big all together. Big promotion. So check out 20 minutes of stand-up footage from Shooting Clerks as well out there. We'll put out. And thank you for coming in. And everyone else, you're smart and good. Thanks for listening. And
watching, too.
Out of here. Yeah, watching. Thanks. Just have to make sure that this records through. I know what else I can do? We're doing this.
Lying on the barren floor and staring out in space. Looking for an angel smiling, praying for some faith. Thoughts that could enter my mind and fill me with fear. Is there something else out there? Just why are we here?
Right, exactly. Oh, not at all. So yeah, the roast and then the next night.
We must be its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, gone comes we must reply. Colors from our mother, they'll below us to our knees. All our souls to bind as one.
No. It's way outside. It's closer towards. Like Ford. Remember that gigantic fire that happened?
One by one and smirking like a thief. Sleeping through another night and deepening our peace. Genesis and matches wake is coming from our sun. Living in this very moment for this moment's done.
I have a Google Home.
Oh, I know I'm with you. Part of me that says I would. But now I see the dawn will come and we are
not as dumb as...
Happened last night. Twisting, turning, minds are burning. Join us if you please. Now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Palace from our mother earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls combined as one. Come join us if you please. If you please. If you please.
Yeah. And we have some like we got Star Wars.
Take a selfie really quick before you go.
There he is. It's that man standing over Blood Alley Square, protecting us all.
Here, do it in front of the
Go get him, that man.
Over here?
Alexa, turn on the overhead.